Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast, Social Assortative Mating. This podcast is sponsored by X-Wolf Testosterone Builder. Gentlemen, are you struggling in the body, sex, or mental game? Need to keep pace with multiple women? There is an answer for you. X Labs presents a proven line of products to help in those areas. Our X-Wolf Testosterone Booster aids in intense workouts in the gym and in the bedroom. Increased blood flow and a heightened libido are just a few of the many benefits. X-Wolf contains all natural ingredients that have been used in Eastern medicine for centuries. All products come with a 30-day free trial and free standard shipping. Use code ROM10 for an additional 10% off your order at checkout. The code will be valid through November 1st. Click the link below in the description box to find out more. Quantities are limited. Make a select choice, unleash your inner wolf, and lead the pack today. Yeah, y'all. Social assortative mating. And I know some people haven't heard that term. Some people have. They familiar with it. Assortative mating is basically, in general, in nature in general, is making a mate choice, a sexual selection choice based on genetic and genetic types and phenotypes. Put in layman's terms, people will mate with somebody who looks close to them physically. That's why sometimes you see a lot of people, if they got certain features, like they both tall, they both short, they both thick, they both slim, something, they will tend to mate. And they will especially, and if you look at them, they actually tend to look alike. It's like that old saying of, if you see a couple and they look really good together, but they also look alike, and you might go up to them and say, okay, y'all either brother and sister or y'all a long time married. And it's usually it's usually one or the other. So in those cases, like, somebody will go for somebody who resembles them in such a way. There's some deeper metaphysics behind that, but this ain't the channel for it. And I've probably talked about it in some. I probably talked about it in an on-demand video or something, and it's related to the anima and the animus. It's part of it, but we're not going to go that deep, especially into genetic assortative mating, because one thing about that could be good, but it can also be bad in a way. It can be bad in a way, depending on what's going on inside. And also, too, when you have something like that, it's a possibility that the people are distant relatives, like they have a common ancestor that might go back. It could go back about 500 years or something. So, and it's very possible, but that's another thing for my Deep Thought channel. That's another thing. So, I might get around to it because a lot of people can't handle that info. But anyway, but I'm not talking about genetic assortative mating. I'm not talking about that because, that happens, but not all the time. Now, another one that's more prevalent is social assortative mating. Now, that one has to do more with sociological conditions, cultural conditions, such as, of course, the social economic thing. Basically, people mate along class lines, educational lines, job lines. It could be cultural, racial or ethnic group. I talk a lot about subcultures, like, and I thought about this assortative mating thing at the gym the other week. Like, a lot of times I get ideas for stuff just watching people. Because, as I always say, I don't sit behind a computer. It's like I always every now and then I get a detractor thinking, oh, Rom don't know what's going on out here. Man, I'm out all the time paying attention to stuff, and then I got people of all ages telling me stuff if I can't see it. So I always know what's happening out here. Shit. For those who remember The Shadow and the mythology with that, The Shadow, that pulp hero, shoot, he had a network all over the place. That's Rom too. But anyway, I saw a young lady in there. She was actually just on a pure physical basis, like bone structure and body wise, very attractive. Me and her had zero chance of getting together though. Because I think she was on some golf stuff. I mean, she was tatted from head to toe. literally tats on her face too. I mean, serious tats. But then, and I used to see her in the gym by herself, but then, and I ain't try to, just to be clear, I ain't try to holler at her or anything, because I was already reading the cultural clues and subcultural clues. And as I'm going to get into, I was like, nah, ain't nothing happening there. But one day I saw with this dude, he was equally tatted. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up, because, what we talk about on here, what's one of the main subjects? People concerned about like Pookie and Ray Ray, bottom feeder women and stuff. But the reality is that the overwhelming majority of people mate within their social class. And I'm gonna have a link to a Wikipedia entry about assortative mating. I'm gonna let you find out for yourself. Because, one of the things I'm doing it this way, a lot of times you trying to tell people something just because they don't like it, they'll try to discredit the person. No, I'm going to put the information out there. You discredit the information. I'm going to make it easy for you because some people are lazy about doing research. So I'm going to put it out there for you. And, and it's not just for that reason, but just for people to understand. Because I'm going to tell you what, and I've quoted this brother, I don't know. I probably quoted this brother so much, I need to find his estate and try to republish his book. And that's the George Sabira, who wrote Money Issues in Black Male-Female Relationships. That shit. That's one of the most slept-on books when you're talking about just black relationships. And one of the things he said, which I underline, he said, any discussion about relationships that don't talk about class and class behavior is a waste. Because that's how people are going to mate. When you talk about, and let me shout out Master Teacher BGS for the octane model. He's the progenitor. We finally got him nailed down about writing a book on it because it's very powerful. It's going to tell you, that whole class thing is going to tell you how a woman's going to mate, how's a man's going to mate. It ain't just the women. Because you got a lot of dudes. Now, I talked about select professionals last week. You get a lot of dudes, once they got a degree, or especially an advanced degree, they making some money. A lot of women going to be short. A lot of women are going to be short. These dudes ain't even thinking about it. That's why I said, people were talking about that whole Jason Kidd thing past couple weeks. I was like, most of the dudes I'm around don't really care. And and Cousin T-Toy said this. He said, he ain't truly select men, ain't worried about him. But see, that's a class thing. That's a class thing. And that's all of us, even myself. I can get along generally with everybody, all octanes and stuff. But the women I click with personally tend to be higher octanes and with degrees. In fact, I saw somebody on a comment. I think it was on a BGS thing. He reposted my video talking about select professionals. I had mentioned like 95% of the women I had dated, at least as an adult, had degrees. And some person liked the video generally, but was like, the math is off. I'm like, how's the math off if that's who I'm dealing with? Because one thing, each of those classes create there's a slight barrier. Those classes aren't crossed easily. People don't go across those classes easily unless they're very attractive. Like the women don't go, if a woman is in a poor environment, she's an 85. She's not going to get a 92 octane male or 100 octane male unless she's very attractive. That's the thing. But if any woman who's like 8 and below, they pretty much stuck with their class. They might even try to move up. Remember, because a big part of mating is who you're in proximity to. I have to shout out one of my supporters, Adrian. He's always talked about the proximity. You got to be in proximity to certain people. That's why I'm always been against that. Looking at Pookie and Ray Ray like they getting all the women. They ain't in proximity to a significant amount of women. You know, there can be the argument, oh yeah, well you got Pookie and Ray Rays in all classes, but no, that's not a Pookie and Ray Ray. That's just maybe a rough dude, or got a dude who got some edge who might be in a higher class. But at the same time, if that dude gonna make some money, he can't be acting trifling. So, in educated, you gotta have a certain amount of discipline and know how to act like you got some sense. So, but that's a powerful thing. Look that joint up, read it, do your own research. I just did a car video talking about, hey, don't take everything I say at face value. Go out there and check it out for yourself. It's right there. And it's a major thing. And like I said, and if you want to go further in the Wikipedia article, it's footnoted, so you can check stuff out for yourself. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. I wanted to share that today because it's a very significant dynamic. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.